Hello everyone, it's Scott here, and in this video I'll be unboxing the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller for the Nintendo Switch 2, which is now available worldwide. So this particular controller was available to pre-order and purchase before the Nintendo Switch 2 console launch, but if you didn't pre-order it, then stock was pretty scarce, but now they're coming back in stock and I've managed to secure one, so I've decided to do this unboxing video. So here we have the front of the box that shows you the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller in all of its glory, as well as a couple of texts saying Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller in various different languages, with English being the default one as this is a UK English product. On the left hand side of the packaging there is a picture of the controller being held, and then on the right hand side packaging we get to see a close up of the additional buttons that are on the actual grip part of the Pro Controller. And then finally, the bottom of the box just has the basically health and safety information, CE markings, UKCA, and then the top of the box has the Nintendo logo. Moving on to the back of the packaging, and it's pretty much standard Nintendo packaging here. So at the top of the packaging, we have a wireless controller for the Nintendo Switch 2 console, designed to be held comfortably for longer periods and perfect for games that use the console's TV mode or tabletop mode. And it gives you a little diagram of the Pro Controller being held, as well as a bit of additional text outlining its key features, and then underneath that is a long list of text, basically that same information we saw above but in multiple different languages. And then underneath that we have the contents of this particular box, which is the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller and the USB Type A to USB Type C cable, which you can use that cable to connect it to the Nintendo Switch 2 dock or to a USB port to charge the controller. So once we've opened the packaging up, we have the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller information sheet. So this is basically just health and safety information, as well as instructions on how to connect it to your Nintendo Switch 2 console, which I will show you later on in this video. But I can guarantee you that about 90% of people won't even look at this piece of paper. I did just as I was curious, and it's pretty much the same information that's repeated in multiple languages, basically outlining how to use it, how to connect it, and other safety tips. Next up, we then have the USB-A to USB-C cable. So the USB side will connect into the top of the Pro Controller, which I'll show you later on in this video, and the USB-A will connect into the Switch dock or another USB port or USB charger port if you want to charge it without being connected to the dock. And it's Nintendo branded as well, so keeping that continuity going from the original Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. And then of course the main piece of this unboxing is the actual Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller itself. So it comes neatly packaged and protected in this sort of foam packaging, which is pretty much the same packaging that we saw for the Nintendo Switch 2 console, and if you haven't, be sure to take a look at my unboxing for that. And here's a close-up of the controller. So it's quite different to the original Pro Controller. It's obviously got the game chat button on there. The plus and minus buttons stick up a little bit more than the original Pro Controller, and of course we have two brand new buttons on the actual grip parts of the controller, which can be customized in the system settings. So the actual Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller is quite different to the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. So here we have the original Pro Controller in my hands now. So it has more of a black plasticky feel to it, whereas the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller has that sort of rubbery, grippier texture, similar to the actual Nintendo Switch 2 console, and it's a bit more distinctive with white colours at the top, and the actual analog sticks having that white colour as well. So now that we have the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller unboxed, it's time to get it connected to the Nintendo Switch 2 console. And there's two different ways to do this. The first way is to click on the controllers icon on your Nintendo Switch 2 home screen, and then click on Change Grip Order. Afterwards, press down on the button on the top of the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, and it'll automatically find the console and connect to it. Alternatively, if you have the Nintendo Switch 2 console in the dock, you can just connect the USB cable to the dock with the USB-C side into the controller, and then press the home button on the controller to register it with that particular console. Now, once that you've got it connected, you can start playing all your various games that you have on your console. And this controller works with both Nintendo Switch 1 games and Nintendo Switch 2 games. So you won't have to worry about changing between two different controllers. Now, if you've used a Nintendo Switch Pro controller before, picking up a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller will feel a little bit different. So obviously the texture of the controller is vastly different to the original design, and obviously you've got those two buttons underneath the controller itself. So it will take a bit of time to get used to, but at the same time it is a nice controller to have for your Nintendo Switch 2 console. So that's pretty much what you can expect from the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, which is now available worldwide for the Nintendo Switch 2 console.